Hello, good day, and welcome to today's Monday Live with Choma Ukoli. And how have you been? How has the holiday been? Um, how are you doing today? I am pretty good. I don't know about you. And for me, the holiday has been fine. It's been amazing. It's been an opportunity for, of course, the children to play more. Yes, that's part of holiday. And it's also been a wonderful moment, okay, for me to take a closer look at the extent of the sibling cohesion between the three of my children. And it's been a wonderful thing. I've been taking notes of a lot. I've been noting things that are not the way I want them. And, you know, being happy and proud of the ones that have actually been turning out well or even better than I I um I expected it. And most especially, it's been an opportunity for me to also strengthen the things that I want to see more in the academic year, in the new term that is coming in. All right. So today we are talking about what are the things that your child needs to thrive in the new term. What are the things that your child needs to succeed in the new term? Um, it's not what you start. You don't want to be in the space where the term starts and your only focus is let me get breakfast ready, let me get these children ready, let me bundle them to school so that I can come back and breathe and all of that and all of that. If that is all that you do, it means that you're in your survival mode. And being in a survival mode is not something to be happy about. It's not something that you want to do because it shuts all your focus, all your attention to just wanting to survive. Okay, you cannot sit and think. You cannot. Um, it doesn't offer you the luxury or the opportunity to think ahead. You are not able to bring in any extra into what you're doing. You're just focused on getting it done, and that's not what royalties do. Yeah, that's not what royalties do. Okay. If you've been listening to me, you know what the royalty conclave is about. And so when I say it is not the way that royalties do, you understand what it is that I'm talking about. Okay. Now, as a way of introduction, um, there is this Igbo adage that says, Ihe na-esi nwa mkpi dị ya n'arụ. Ihe na-esi nwa mkpi dị ya n'arụ. So if you're not Igbo, well, because I am a kind coach, I'm going to give a pidgin translation of it. So what it means is that waiting they smell goats for body, they inside the goats. Yes. If you still don't understand it, find an Igbo friend that will listen to this video and explain it to you in the way you understand. But the point is, children who thrive in school do not do so. Children who do well in school do not do so by accident. Yes. Children who do well in school don't do so by accident. They don't do so by accident. So um, somebody laid some foundation. Somebody walked behind the scene to prepare them for what it is that we are seeing them do in school. And if you're a parent with young children, this is what you want to hear about this and start putting them into um, play. And so, as a way of introduction, I am Choma Okoli, and I am the founder of the Expedient Parent Academy, which is a coaching outfit for parents from expectancy to the first 6 years of raising their children. Okay, so here we talk about things common and uncommon that you really want to start putting into practice to do better in your parenting and not neglect these early years to the cares and distractions of life and our society that have come to stay. You see, these distractions and care of life and cares about life, they have come to stay. They are not going away. But we have to find means of not being carried away by them. All right. Okay. So um I've mentioned that a child who does well in school do not do so by accident, right? Somebody laid some foundation behind the scene that we are not seeing. So what exactly does it mean to do well in school? Have you thought of that? For a child less than 6 years, it's easy for us to say, what do they know? It's not just why what do they know? It's not just to take them to school. I take them to school so that I'll have time to do other things. Whatever they do with the teacher is fine. They will come back when they grow older. They will learn, or I will teach them. You're being the average parent if you reason in this way. They are in school so that I can focus on my life, or so that I can take care of the younger ones, or so that I can go about my business, or any of those things. Those are very terrible reasons to have your child go to school. And I'm saying this here. I can say this here because many parents of young children are guilty of this, myself inclusive. Yes, my first child started school when he was 15 months. Yes, he was 15 months. He wasn't even up to 2 years then. Why was that? Because I was running a program in the university and I needed him to be somewhere so I can attend to school activities and come back and pick him up and all of that. So the goal that time was just somewhere that he can stay and do whatever he wants to do. That's it. So when I say some of the things I'm saying, it's not that I was never guilty of them. It is that I was once guilty, but now I've seen light and I am doing it the right way or the better way. My second child is 2 years. She'll be 3 in September, but she's not in school yet. She hasn't started school yet. And is she just sitting at home and playing her life away? No, no. If you we've actually been doing a lot to get her ready to start school in September. And when we talk about starting school in September, you need to see all of the excitement and all of the energy that she brings. We are all looking forward to the almighty September when she eventually goes to school, but we've been doing some underground work. And whatever that becomes of her in school, and people start saying, your child is doing well, your daughter is this, your daughter is the other one. I won't be surprised because we've been laying the foundation long before she eventually went to school. And so if you're a parent of young children, I want you to understand that there is so much to do in these early years. There is so much to do, a whole lot to do. And by the time your child gets to 7 years and above, there are what you're now doing is adding blocks upon the foundations in those aspects. All right. So um I asked a question earlier. What is your definition of a child that is doing well in school? This including, of course, children within the first 6 years, which is our interest here. So have you sat down to think about what will my child be doing in school that will say that my child is succeeding in these early years? Most times we pay attention in the scores, we pay attention in the position. Is my child within the first three and all of that and all of that? Take that away and add other things. There should be other variables. So, do you have any definitions? Well, I have mine, and I'm going to give us that. But before you hear mine, um, You can drop your own definition in the comment section. I'd like to read about them. I'd like to read about what you think. And if you've not thought about it, just say never thought of it. Okay? All right. So my definition of a child that is doing well in school is a child that does well is that child that is able to integrate the values learned from the home, a child that is able to integrate the values learned from the home into his interactions with teachers and peers in the classroom. He's emotionally stable enough to know, they're stable enough to learn, perform activities, follow instructions, and communicate simple needs. I'll take that again. A child that does well in school is that child that is able to integrate the values learned from the home into his interactions with teachers and peers in the classroom. He's emotionally stable enough to learn, perform activities, follow instructions, and communicate simple needs. So it's not just about my child is in school, my child is in crèche, my child is in pre-nursery, my child is in nursery one. It's not just about those. Is that child emotionally stable or developed enough to actually sit still and learn, even if it is for 5 to 10 minutes? Yes, we understand that the attention span of children is developing, right? But then formal learning is formal learning, and that's what school provides. So can that child you're taking to school really sit down and listen when something is being taught? That's part of the things you need to consider in the emotional stability and all that I talked about. Now, I mentioned about interacting with teachers and peers. Your child is going to interact with teachers and peers. Now, how do you know how your child will interact with teachers in school? How does your child interact with? Okay, I'm a Catholic, and during Sunday masses we have what we call church wardens or ministers of hospitality. So normally my children don't sit with me. The first two, the oldest two, they don't sit with me. So if you don't know how your child will behave or interact with a teacher in classroom, how your child interacts with the ushers in the children's section or in the bigger church auditorium, for those of us that sit with their children, how your child interacts with that um usher should give you an idea of how they will interact with a classroom teacher, or how your child interacts with other adults aside you, especially adults who don't live with you. Should give you an example. Is your child shy in the presence of another adult? It means that most likely your child will also be shy when he's interacting with the class teacher. Does your child go mute when they come in contact with another adult that is not you? There is such a thing as selective mute. A child who does selective mute means simply means that when that child is in a strange environment, or when that child is in an environment other than home, or in the circle of people that child is used to, the child goes dumb. No matter what you say, the child can hear you, but the child won't say anything. That is selective mute. So if your child does that in the presence of other people, it means that child is likely going to do that with the teacher in the classroom. And so you if this is the case, or whatever thing you find out to be the case when your child interacts with other adults, it should give you an idea of the work you need to do ahead. So for a parent who has a child that goes mute in the presence of people that he's not conversant with, means before school resumes, you should take your child to go and meet the class teacher so that your child can develop rapport with the teacher. And the teacher should know what to expect. And you should give suggestions to your child's teacher on how to handle it. And this also boils down to what I said. A child that does well in school. So imagine that two parents have children who with selective mute. One parent doesn't know what I'm talking about, so just takes the child to school. The teacher, here is my child, do with him whatever you will. And then another parent who has a child with this selective mute, but goes ahead to meet the class teacher beforehand. Which of the children do you think will communicate or will interact better with the class teacher? Of course, the child with parent B. So we have a lot of roles to play in our children's academic success beyond paying school fees and taking the child to school every day. In fact, I would say, dear parents, we have more roles to play in line with our children's academic success more than any teacher is capable of doing. Not because the teachers are lazy or because they don't want to, but that's just how it is. Remember the order of socialization, agents of socialization. Family comes in first. You know why? Because of parenting. In the order of agents of socialization, the first is family. Why? Because of parents. And then church and school comes in. Do not misplace the order. Don't misplace the order. If you do, you're doing yourself and your child lots of disadvantages. Okay, so that's it about interaction with teachers and peers. How do you know um, what your child's interaction with the peers are going to be? If you have an older child, look at how that child interacts with the older or younger children or younger siblings. Or you take your children for play dates, or you take your children to public playgrounds where they can interact with other children. Watch out how your children interact with those other children. That should give you an idea. So if you've been aggressive to your child at home, chances are that your child will also be aggressive with other children. Why? Because the child has seen other people to practice what he's been learning. A child that beats the parents is a child that the parent has been beating. Yes. There is no, I don't know how. The only another exception or another source that the child can learn that is if the child watches television where those things are done. But beyond that, when we beat our children, they learn to beat others, including us. No, they are not afraid of us. They are not. And of course, they shouldn't even be, except for those of you that are parenting to create fear and subject your child to listen to you at all costs or to obey you at all costs. Okay? So, emotionally stable enough to learn, able to interact with others, perform activities such as writing, such as reading, such as coloring, such as when the teacher says walk, they should walk. When the teacher says go and bring your lunch, your food flasks eat, they should be able to do that. Okay. Follow instructions closely related to being able to perform activities. Communicate simple needs. Simple needs like I want to go and wee, I want to go and poo, or I want to drink water, or I am hungry, or this person is looking for my trouble, or this person hit me, or this person collected my pencil. Communicate simple needs. If your child is not able to communicate simple needs, that child is not doing well in school. That's my own definition. I don't know about yours, but this is my definition, and I can defend it anywhere. All right? Okay. So let's normalize bringing in variables such as behavior, right? Behavior, habits, ability to interact with others peacefully, follow instructions, questioning instructions that contradict what is known as parameters for doing well in school for our children, even from an early age. How to note your child's behavior, I've explained that. In the child's interactions with others, whether children or fellow adults, That should give you a clear picture of how that child is going to interact with the class teacher and um, the classmates. Okay. Habits. What are when your child sees somebody, what are the habits? Does the child shy away? Does the child go on to discuss with the person? If you come to my house, right, I pity you, especially if you didn't come with children. You come to my house as an adult, right? You answer questions, tire. Like my son will be asking you, my first son will be asking you, my daughter will be asking you. You answer this one, another one will come. And then you should also be in the mood to listen to stories because stories plenty. So that means, of course, I know that the children who ask those kind of questions means they are in the habit of asking questions, including me. Last week we talked about um my child is asking a lot of questions. What do I do, and all of that, and all of that. If you missed that video, you want to go and take a look at it. When children ask questions, there are things that those questions should be pointed to. There are reasons why they're asking those questions. And if you miss the reasons why they're asking those questions, you're likely going to shut them up, ignore them, or make a caricature of their questions. And any of these three has its own implications. You really want to go watch that video last week on my child is asking lots of questions and all of that. You want to go and watch it and learn from it what to do going forward. Okay. All right. Then the next thing we want to bear in mind is that when we focus on these variables that I mentioned, the variable of behavior, habits, interactions with others, when we factor these, etc., when we factor these into what we consider as success for our children in school, it will enable us to start focusing on those extra things that will make our children thrive, even in the later years to come. If you are conversant with the discussions on emotional intelligence, you will know that emotional intelligence trumps IQ. It's not even an argument. Like, it's not an argument. If you argue about it, I will know that you're far from the discourse on emotional intelligence. Go and read the book Outliers. Go and read the book Outliers. People who do well because they have high IQ do so because they had parents who also focused on other things, namely their behavior, their social skills, their resilience. So it's not just about my child has high IQ, my child is doing well, my child has extra home lesson teacher, my child does his assignment, my child takes the first position. Are you also looking at the other aspects of your child? Because take away high scores and grades, there are other things that will matter in your child's life. So you see why we must bring in those other variables that we just mentioned. Okay, so do not focus on grades only in the absence of those variables. If you are looking at the grades, also look at those other variables. How do I improve my child's behavior? How do I improve my child's focus? How do I improve my child's resilience? How do I improve my child's communication skills? How do I improve my child's emotional intelligence? These are the things you also need to bring in. Don't isolate success in school. Don't uh, don't delimitate success in school to just the grades. In fact, the grades should be the last thing. One thing we've gotten right from day one, even when we put our first son in school earlier than normal, was that we took our eyes away from the scores and grades. Yes. So he did crèche. And the school that my son attends, in the crèche, the head teacher told us early enough that he's just coming to play. So there is no curriculum like you come on Monday, or for first term they're supposed to learn all of ABC. Second term they're supposed to learn all of 1, 2, 3. No. So they have, in fact, the person they have is not even called a teacher. Forgotten the name for the lovely woman. Okay. But the thing is, in crèche, there is no report card, there is no scores, there is no assignments, there is nothing. Just go eat, do whatever you want to do, play with others, and then at dismissal, will go and pick you. But coming to pre-nursery, there was now assignments, there's now a curriculum, there's now exams, there's now report card, there's now question papers that are marked and that he brings home. But right from that first time, my husband and I took our eyes away from the scores. I think the first term of my child's his report card is here, because at some point we're going to talk about looking at our child's report. So I kept it, I brought it on. So his first report card had gave him the position of being he was he was 17th out of 18. That was first term of his pre-nursery class. But that didn't deter us. We know he talks, we know that didn't make us angry. We didn't even fight anybody. We didn't even ask how come. Nothing. Life was good and we moved on. But one thing I did was that for each subject that there was an F to, yes, that first term, he actually had three Fs. Those subjects that he scored listing, I started putting my eyes in them. And oftentimes, I will always discover that he's actually not doing well in those subjects. So, what do I do? Let's leave that. We are getting to it. Hey, we are getting to it. So, what are the home advantage that a child needs? What are the home advantages that a child needs? Now, I'll tell you a story. When I was in primary three, okay, I attended Modern Primary School 1 in Soka, all right, in Enugu State. Okay. So in my primary three, there was this classmate of mine who had an older brother that was like two classes ahead of us. So when primary three, he was in primary five. Yes. So but their family name was like household name in the school. I was like, what's going on here? The brother and the sister. You can't say this one is more intelligent than the, but the two of them are so intelligent in their stream that you can't talk about going for competitions outside the school, and their names are not appearing. Like, how do you want to do it? It doesn't even happen. And I became interested. I was intrigued. I was the last in my family. I was the last child, so I don't even have any younger person. All right, but I know the academic strength of the people ahead of me. I knew it very well, very, very well. And here are two siblings in the same school, but they are doing exceptionally well academically. And I started going close to the one that was my classmate. Of course, she was my friend. Yes, she was my friend. And then we started having conversations that bordered on their parents. I think the mother was a teacher and the father owned a business center somewhere. But I loved how she makes mention of her father and her mother in school assignments, in doing school assignments. So the parents were involved. Unlike me, my mother didn't go to school. Don't tell her I told you. My mother didn't go to school, that's the fact. So I didn't grow up with a mother who helped me with assignments or who was involved in my assignment. If you need something like you can't find your pencil, you can't find your eraser, she'll give you money to go and buy another one. or you need more books, she'll give you money to buy, or you need her to buy, she'll do that. But I didn't have the memory or the luxury of having a mother who would help me with my assignment at all. But my father was educated, and I learned how to read early, courtesy of my dad. When I am reading a book, right, I don't fold it like this or hold it anyhow. I learned that from my dad. So my dad taught me early enough, right, that if you're holding a book, hmm, there are two ways to hold a book. You either hold it this way or you hold it this way. And I saw the pilings of books that my father used to study in his school in his time. So I had some academic at home advantage, yes, but it was only limited to my dad in the practical sense. My mom was on the sideline of buying things. And then this friend of mine would mention her mother, mention her father. I'm like, "Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful." So you want a child that is doing well in school, you, the mother, the father, have to be involved in that child's academic work. And yes, starting from an early age. Don't think it is when they become adolescents, when they enter primary school, when they enter secondary school, when they enter the university. If you don't do it well in nursery, you won't be there in primary and secondary. You'll still find reasons why you will not be there. And legit reasons are that. So you want to really start early. You honestly want to start early. Okay, so what is the first home advantage your child needs? Number one is an environment that promotes learning. So this is my home library. You can see two shelves behind me. There are two other shelves that you're not seeing. This is a library. Reading is not strange in my house. The same thing, both for me and for my husband, right? So my children are not in the space where they are wondering, do we have to read or do we not have to read? Is reading something that we should do in this family or something that we should not do? Like it is, you know that even if you don't want to read, at least you're seeing a mommy and a daddy that is reading. So you know reading is okay, super okay, super okay. So a home that is encouraging of reading is one of the home advantages that your child needs to thrive in school. So if you're not reading, start reading. Don't say you have young children. I have young children too. You know that already. Three of them. Three of them. But I read every day. I read every day. This is one of the reasons, even if not for any other reason, this is one of the reasons why you should join the Reality Conclave. Okay? Every month, every month, there is a book. There is a book to read and review in the book. Join the Royalty Conclave. Join. We are kicking off next week Sunday. Okay, not next, this Sunday. We are kicking off this Sunday in earnest. You want to be there. If you're not reading, how will your children learn to read? Be how would they be normalized reading? See, many of us did exam malpractice in our early years in our academic work because we didn't know any better. You must not have a child who sees um exam malpractice in any form as a, you must not. You must not under your watch. Not watch. Please start reading. Your children needs to see you read. They need to see you read. Another home advantage is a peaceful, predictable home activities before and after school. What I call a baseline. A baseline. Your child may not know what the teacher will teach in school. He may not know if the next classmate will decide to be aggressive today or not. He may not know if one of his good friends will come and say, "You're not my friend today again." Like my son will come back some days and say, This person said he's not my friend again. And you see him feeling really bad because somebody said not his or her friend again. So there are a lot of things your child cannot predict exactly how it will happen in school. But let your child be able to predict what happens in the home before they leave and when they come back. Let them let's build that baseline. Build that baseline. Build it. Build it. It will be one of the things that will give stability to your child, to your child's success in the new term. And the next thing is parents who are thriving. Mm, parents who are thriving. You know, I talk about being in survival mode a lot because in the early years, our default is to just survive one day. Kata agagodi, tomorrow we'll start talking about tomorrow. So you're always looking forward to, can this student go to sleep? Can this happen? Let me just, so that you scroll, you do this one, you gist, you gossip, you do updates, capture, and then you sleep. And then in the morning, you don't, because you didn't sleep well, they come to you, your brain is still fiery, your brain is protest, I want more sleep. But you can't go back because it's still break. For those of us who are working, you're struggling to meet up with work demands. You go to work, they are still complaining you came late, you didn't finish the work you're supposed to do yesterday. And you know that when you get home, your children are still going to drag you responsibilities as a wife, as a daughter to your parents, or as a husband, or as a son to your parents. We are always, you know, we are being pulled in many directions. So oftentimes we're just trying to survive. Unfortunately, you can't be in that space and be thriving. And if you're not thriving, you always be snapping at. That's what survival stage is known for. It's one of the characteristics. You're always snapping at things and people. You are everywhere and nowhere. So you have to be thriving. You have to be thriving. If you don't understand what thriving is, join the royalty conclave. It's one of the common conversations we should be having there. I am a mother of young children, and I've made a commitment to thrive myself. And it can't be where I am speaking, you're not being challenged to thrive. It's not possible. It's not possible. So all of the excuses you want to have, my child is small, my children is small, I'm still pregnant, I'll still get pregnant. I founded the Expander Parent Academy when I was pregnant with my third child last year. Yeah. You don't want to hear the gist. You don't want to hear the full gist. So whatever excuse you think you have, those excuses are legit, but I'm telling you, you can go beyond those excuses. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you should not have them as excuses, but I'm saying you've had them enough. Ditch them and go further. All right. Okay. So the fourth is parents who are physically and emotionally involved in their children's lives. These are the home advantages your child needs to succeed in school. You have to be there physically and emotionally. Physically. So that when they come to you, you can drop what you're doing that cannot involve them, or you can ask them nicely to give you some time. And as far as soon as that time is elapsed, you go to them. We have to be present in our children's life, physically and emotionally. I don't know how you want to do it, but you must do it though. If you want your child to succeed. Remember, I've said success in school is not just about passing exams and being the first in the class. They should be first in the class, they should pass their exams, but the other variables that we've established should also be able to tick them in the excellent margin. All right. So what are the practical steps to take? Number one, review the previous term work, report card, and question papers. I looked at my son's report card several. I look at it several. Same with my husband. So this is our reading table in the library. It's been on this table since the day school closed. So that should give you an idea of how often you take a look at it. What are we looking at? First, I compare last term and this term. The subject that he didn't do so well in last term that we increased the attention we were giving in that subject. Did our attention reflect in the new term? If it didn't, it means we didn't do well. It could be that I didn't do well in teaching. It could be that he didn't do well in learning. And either ways, we should address whichever direction it is coming from. Okay. That is one way, or that is number one review. Number two review is the average. Did it reduce or did it increase? If it reduced, which subjects dragged it down? Note that. Okay. The comments. That's where the behavior comes in. The comments. What is it talking about? First term. The comment on my son's report card is that he finishes what he starts. Executive functioning skill intact. He finishes what he starts. Um Somehow that first teacher left and then a new teacher came in. And the comment on behavior that the new teacher gave was that he's gentle, pointing to his behavior. Did I work on these behaviors before the term started? Yes. And even while the term was on, we are still working on, and even up to today, we are still working on these behaviors because we don't want it to go down. So carry the academics and the behavior alongside. During open day, during the school's open day, I went. I didn't go asking, why is he not writing well? Why are you not teaching him? Why is he not reading well? I know right now my child is going to 5 years, but he doesn't read as wonderfully well as I want. And so I intentionally asked the teacher to give him more of his reading book. So during Fridays, give him the book for his reading so that he'll come back. That was what we did in first term. So the teacher knows that if he's going home on Fridays, include his Queen Premier. But I realized the challenge with the Queen Premier, it's tiny. The pictures are not bright, so and the letters are too jam-packed. My son is a kinesthetic learner, and for a kinesthetic learner, that puts him off. So I had to stop. In the second term, I never asked for Queen Premier except when he brought it home as part of the assignment for the day. So I needed to now craft my own words, my own letters in a brightly done books and all of that. See, teachers have their own distractions and challenges to deal with. And so if you keep the responsibility of your child's success in school on the teacher, you are in on a long thing. No, you are in on a long thing. It's not that the teacher is lazy or that the teacher is wicked. It's just life. It's just life. And if I were you, I won't sit down and be complaining and be blaming. I will do the job. I'll do the job. It's my child after all. It's my child. I'm not going to become a school teacher for anybody. I don't even have the interest in doing that. So I'm not going to say, let me find my own school and show you how to teach. I'm not showing you. But you see, for my children, let me be their first teacher. Okay? So review the report. I've looked at the question papers severally. A good school should actually give you these things at the end of the term. Okay, I've looked at the question papers. I've taken note of the things he didn't do well. His scores were mostly 54 over 60, 54 over 60, 56 over 60. Yeah, then a few that were 60 over 60. Okay. I've noted all of them. I've taken note of them. We've started working on them since this holiday. So you see, when a child, just like what I said, ihe na-esi nwamkpi dị ya n'arụ, a child that is doing well, that is succeeding in school, by our definition of a child that is doing well in school, has some home advantage. I've shared them with you, some of them with you. and they are enough for you to run with and actually produce a child that is doing well. Now, what is the second practical step you should take? For each take home assignment, go above and beyond just solving it for your child. So let's take time, for instance. I was overjoyed to see that they now teach time in nursery two. I don't know, I can't remember if I was taught time in my nursery two. I can't remember exactly. But you know what? The day my son brought home that assignment, we did it and did it and did it very well. And from that day, we started saying, when the long hand is at 12, my son, okay, my son will say, Mommy, I want to eat. I'll say, no problem. When the long hand is at 12 and the short hand is at 7, let me know. So, Mommy, can we do this now? When the long hand is at 12 and the short hand is at 4, let me know. That's when we'll do it. What am I doing? I'm reinforcing time. I'm reinforcing understanding time. I'm reinforcing, you know, following schedules. I'm reinforcing following stated time. I'm reinforcing routines. I'm reinforcing doing things at a particular time. I'm reinforcing speed. So we want to eat. Okay, so what's the time now? The long hand is at this one. The short hand is at this one. So we want to be done with this before the long hand gets. And he will sit at a particular place in dining table where he can be seeing the wristwatch. So go above and beyond just solving it. Make that assignment, bring it home, apply it. Then the third is talk about your own assignments and exams, if any. So sometimes my children will come to me, hey, mommy, hey. I'll say, can you give me some time? I'm doing my assignments. And they'll be like, did your teacher give you assignments? Yes, I am my own teacher. And I gave myself assignments and I'm doing it. Yes, so I have a teacher. When we talk about, you know, I'm not giving them the vibes of I am above, you are below. I don't want to bring that vibes to talk about your exam, talk about your assignments, talk about your projects, talk about do things together. Let them know that these things are normal part of life and I should do it. Okay. So this is where we bring it to an end. What stood out most for you? Which one are you going to start immediately? School is starting exactly 1 week from today, or 1 week today. And hey, you need to change your focus. You need to change, allow them. Um, my network is shaky. Okay, we are good. We are good. I wanted to switch network, but we are good. Okay, so I was saying go above and beyond. Don't, I know the money for school fees may be high, the economy is bad, all of that. The economy is bad, is that it is bad. That's the fact. So what do we do? Do we shut everything down? No, don't shut your child's opportunity to get better. The author of economy is bad, or the author of I'm working hard to make money. You make just say the money, uncle, what else? We'll make the money, yes, we'll make money. But by the time you're done making the money, your child will not still remain less than 6 years. I hope you know. But if you fail to lay the foundations now you do yourself. Mm, now you do yourself. So I'm actually happy to have shared this with us. I'm excited to have shared this with us, and I hope you're happy I shared it with you. Okay, so to have a beautiful day, and as the holiday comes to an end, please have an amazing one. And as the school is about to start, let this term be different. It should not be the same with the previous terms. It should not. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to drop the link for the Royalty Conclave in the comment section. You also want to take a look at that. And this is a Monday Live section. It holds every Monday by 12 noon. Okay. And we discuss things. If you're a mother with a child within the ages of 0 to 6, there is no other place to listen to except here. Yes, trust me, it's packed. The Expanded Parent Academy covers pregnancy till the first 6 years. It's intentional because parents that have children within the ages of 0 to 6 most likely would still get pregnant within that period. So it's a whole um, it's a whole outfit. It's an outfit to cater for everything you need from pregnancy to the first 6 years. Okay. All right. So this year we'll call it a day. Once again, I am your host, Choma Okoli, the founder of the Expanded Parent Academy. And thank you for your time. I'd like to hear from you in the comment section. All right. You have an amazing, amazing day and week ahead. All right. Bye.